everybody, it's the Warhipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial from Armageddon. Yes, we are back once more on the battlefields of the 41st millennium with the Armageddon box that Games Workshop very kindly sent to me early to build up and paint with all of you, and that is exactly what we are doing today. So what we've got in front of us is the all-new Space Marine Ancient, and we're going to be painting him up in the colours of the Salamanders. Yes, I'm very excited. I love painting Salamanders. I think they might be one of my favourite chapters of all time, and I can't wait to jump in and start doing that. So that is exactly what we're going to do starting now. So he's been primed in Grey Seer, and the colour we're going to be using first is a roughly 4 parts Karandras Green to 1 part Lahmian Medium mix. This is just so that we get a nice even flow of this Karandras Green over the top of all of our Salamander's armour. And we're going to be applying this over top of, well, most of the armour, but we are excluding the backpack and we're excluding his shoulders as well. And there's one other area we're also going to apply this over the top of, which is going to be the field of the banner as well. With all of that Karandras Green applied, what we're then going to do is we're going to take a roughly 4 parts Warp Lightning to 1 part Lahmian Medium. And we're going to apply this over the top. And so with all of that Warp Lightning applied, we're now going to apply arguably the biggest colour on this model, which is Black Legion. And we're going to be applying this over a lot of the model. So we're going to be applying this over top of the soft joints in the armour. We're going to be applying this over top of the field of the shoulders. We're going to apply this over the top of the casing of the bolt gun. We're also going to apply this over top of any leather. And we're also going to apply this over the vast majority of the banner as well. Including a couple of details on the banner, which is going to include that big circle right in the middle here. And the recessed checks just up here. So with all of that Black Legion applied, as you can see, there is an absolute ton of it all the way around the model. But what we're going to do next is we're going to take 2 colours. We're going to take Bad Moon Yellow and Magmadroth Flame. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with some Bad Moon Yellow. And we're going to apply this over sort of that flame design on the banner. So we're going to apply the Bad Moon Yellow over top of the entire thing. Like so. Then we're going to wash the brush, grab some Magmadroth Flame, and then around the sort of middle part, we're going to apply this Magmadroth Flame. Like so. And then we're going to wash the brush, touch off the water, And then around the edges of where we've applied the Magmadroth Flame, we're basically going to stipple at it. I'm going to wash the brush again. Just like that sort of thing. So with that now done, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Skeleton Horde. We're going to apply this over top of the tabard. And we're going to apply this over top of all of the parchment. And with that Skeleton Horde all applied, we then take some Flesh Tearers Red. We apply this over two areas on the banner. The first is going to be this bottom half of this shield down here. But the other section is going to be the raised checks at the top. And with that Flesh Tearers Red all applied, we're then going to take Nazdreg Yellow, and we're going to apply this over top of the eagle and over top of the banner border. This is the banner. And with that all done, we're then going to take a tiny little bit of some Volupus Pink. I'm going to apply this over top of this wax seal. With that all done, we've actually got to do a little bit more Bad Moon Yellow just over the top of the eye lenses. This is going to give us a sort of lovely glow. Like that. And with that all done, it's time for some metallics. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with some thinned down Iron Warriors. We're going to apply this over top of the banner pole and the cross pole. And we're going to apply this over top of things like the mechanical areas on the backpack, as well as on the gun. And with all of that Iron Warriors applied, we are now going to take some thinned down Retributor Armour, and we're going to apply this over top of all our remaining details, excluding the last few bits on the banner, like that star and that sword. So with that all done, it's time to apply some shades. And we're going to apply Firstly, some Reikland Fleshshade. I'm going to apply this over top of all the gold. And with all that Reikland Fleshshade applied, we are then going to take some Nuln Oil. And we're going to apply this over top of all of the black, all of our remaining white details, and over the top of all of the silver. So with those shades all applied, our Ancient is now what I would call a Warhipster battle ready, and he's looking pretty good. However, we're not going to leave him there. No, we're going to take him to the next level. We're going to do this by adding some highlights. Now the first of these is going to be some thinned down Moot Green. I'm going to use this to highlight, well, funnily enough, all of the green. With all of that Moot Green applied, we're then going to take a tiny little bit of some thinned down Phalanx Yellow. I'm going to use this to add some little spot highlights to the sharpest points in all of our green. Like that sort of thing. I'm going to use this across the middle of the eye lenses. And the other thing we're going to do with the Phalanx Yellow is just over the tips of those flames on the banner. I'm going to add just a little tiny highlight. So with all of that green and, well, yellow highlighted, what we're going to do now is we're going to take some thinned down Dawnstone. I'm going to use this to do two things. The first of which is to relayer all of these skulls on the banner. Just like that sort of thing. But, naturally, the other thing we're going to be doing with the thinned down Dawnstone is we're going to use this to highlight all the black details. So with all that Dawnstone applied, we then take a tiny amount of some thinned down Administratum Grey. And we use this to highlight the faces on the banner. So that sort of thing, but we also use this Administratum Grey to pick out the sharpest corners in all the black details. And with that, our black details are now finished. So what we can do is move on. I'm going to move on to the white. I'm going to take some thinned down Corax White. I'm going to use this to highlight those details. Next up, we take a small amount of some thinned down pink horror, and we use this to highlight the wax seal. And with that pink horror applied, we then take some thinned down Wazdakka Red, and we use this to highlight the red. And for our next trick, we're going to take some thinned down Screaming Skull. I'm going to use this to highlight his tabard, the parchment, and we're also going to use this to add basically a little spot highlight to our Nazdreg Yellow on the banner. We don't need to do a full highlight. So now it's time to work on our metallics. And, well, the first one we're going to do is the silver, and we're going to use some thinned down Ironbreaker to highlight this. And with our silver all highlighted, we're then going to take some thinned down Liberator Gold and use this to highlight all of the gold. So with our metallics all highlighted, it means now what we can do is we take a small amount of Flesh Tearers Red and apply this over the one singular gem. And then finally, to finish off our ancient, we take a little bit of some Cygor Brown and we use this to add some text to all of our parchment. And there we have it. My Salamanders army grows by one. For now. I have a very small Salamanders army, and it's pretty much everything that you can see on the channel that we have a video for. But I really love them. I love painting that green. I think it's such a gorgeous colour. And it comes out super nicely every single time. I'm really, really pleased with it. And this new Ancient, he'll fit in just nicely amongst the veterans of the Salamanders. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/warhipster, just like all of these wonderful, amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.